Hey, what's up? Denzel here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Ultimate Studio Lights Premium Edition node group. If you don't know what that is, in a previous video, how to light products like a pro in Blender, I showed you all how to use gradients to get a professional look in your renders. And in that video, there was a node group that I created where it allowed you to easily create those gradients. Many of you seem to love it. It got over 5,000 downloads. And so since then, I've been making improvements, adjustments, and adding new features to it. And so that is why in this video now, I want to show you some of the new features, what I've been working on, and how you could use it now to be able to create those professional renders. Before we get started though, if you'd like to learn more about product lighting in Blender, be sure to check out 3D Product Lighting Mastery. It's a combination of theory together with workshops where you would learn the 3 key pillars of lighting. You'll learn during the workshops exactly how and when to use certain lights for certain objects. I'll teach you all you need to learn about product lighting. And the best part, I'll be continually adding new workshops to the course at no further cost attached to you. In addition to that, you will have access to the Studio Lights Premium Edition node group. I'll leave some information about that down below in the description if you want to check that out. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the video. Okay, so one of the first things you will realize is that the node group is a lot larger. That's obviously because there are a lot more features added to it, right? And you will be familiar with these gradient. I think it's named differently. Let me show you though what is actually happening. Let me pull this down and switch this to rendered view. And you see what is happening by default. All right, this is just like a regular strip box or softbox. And if you pay attention to the light here, by the way, this is from a new course that was released on the Deja Design School, Complete Guide to 3D Whiskey. But the lighting here, if you add a gradient to this, like if, for example, if I enter 45 degrees, look at the big difference it makes there, right? But that's what's happening. But I want you to see, this is what it does. And you could adjust this here, right? You could adjust it to 45 degrees or even negative 45 degrees. It's as if it's rotating on the middle. And it's like if you angle in the light, if you know how product photographers do it, you will actually angle the light and make it kiss like a scrim, like so soft paper, or I should say translucent paper, so that you can get that feather, right? And that's what creates that gradient. So this is what happened here. And I also created this gradient shift. Now, let me tell you what is the importance of this. This here is actually where the edge of the light starts. If it is that I shift it here, I will shift actually where the edge of the light starts there. But let me tell you why this is important. Let me skip a little bit if I go down to using this inverse dual gradient. We'll get back to that though, but let me show you. If it is I do that, look at how this glass looks. This glass looks almost like a matte finish because there's this gradient going here. Around there's a slight curve on the grass. Right, but this is like an almost matte finish. But if it is that you want to define or you want to show that your product is actually glossy, this is when you will want to create this hard line here so that the viewer could see and immediately tells your brain that, oh, this object is shiny. So that this allows us now to adjust that even further to make it even more obvious. You can tell this is a glossy object. It's not matte because some glasses are matte. All right, so that's the reason for that feature there. All right, so let's go down. So of course this is just the inverse of it. So this is the up and down. Let me switch this to 0 and let me show you. This is just the other way around, right? Up and down. All right, and that is so that if you don't have to tilt the light to be able to get the opposite effect. All right, just create it in separate parameters. And then there's the dual gradient. That is self-explanatory. However, I still click it to show you because in the previous node group, I think there was like a dual gradient. But now I've adjusted it here simply to like a checkbox, and then you could close in these sliders to get a more narrow black strip in the middle. And then there's this gradient slider. You'll be familiar with this from the previous one, the gradient slider. What I added to this is like a rotation, so you could rotate it. Let's say the bottle was lying down, or if it's another object, you could rotate it. All right, so that's the rotate scrim. And as mentioned just now, the inverse dual gradient. That gives some real beautiful lighting, but it depends on what object you're lighting. Really nice. And then you could change the spread here. All right, and make it a little more hard or a little more soft. This one, you could rotate it, but I believe I may change it to a checkbox because it just rotates between 0 and 90, or yeah, 90 and 180. All right, so that is this feature here. This other one here is, I'm really excited. I called it the Deja Octobox because maybe in another video I'll show you how I created this octobox using the maths and nodes, right? But I need to show you a different example to see the importance of it, because let me check it and you'll see. It looks a little distorted because it's a rectangle, right? But if I make this the same dimensions, yeah, so that's what it really is there. And let me switch it back. In the real world, whenever you lighten like food or food related objects, usually as product photographers, we use an octobox, a large octobox. I'll show you some examples here. As you look on the screen, you'll notice that to get a certain type of light on cutlery or on food, that large octobox is there at an angle very close to the food or to the dish, and you get a really different sort of lighting. That's what food photographers do. Product photographers, food photography is specialized also, but it all comes under that umbrella of product photography. Yeah, so let me switch to another example. This time, as I mentioned, the food, but this is some cutlery and some vegetables as well. All right, so let me switch. Well, it's in rendered view, and let me turn on the first one, and you will see that soft lighting that you saw in the references. Yeah, and usually when you do that, you will add like a bounce light. In this case, I added like a plane, so just to get some reflection back in the scene, and you get this moody kind of look. And sometimes that is what you want, or depending on the shot that you want and the lighting you want, instead of opting for the bounce light, yep, this is just simply a plane, right? A plane, a white plane, like sort of. So when the light hits here, it just bounces back onto the food to fill those shadows. Let me do it. Let me turn it off. See, it was kind of dark, so you need some bounce light there. Sometimes you don't want to introduce another light to create more shadows, but the beauty with this is that because it's so soft, you'll hardly get these shadows. So let me turn off the plane, and instead now I could actually add another light just like this on the other side. And the thing is though, whenever you're doing that, you notice that this one is at a power of 10 and this one is also at a power of 10. That is like a no-no. You don't want to do that. So usually you want that to be a little lower, so maybe 8. So whenever you have opposite lights like that and you lighten something, one has to be brighter than the other. If you study other photos, other renders, professional ones, you notice that that's the case. That is so that you will avoid clashing and it wouldn't just wash out the scene with light, right? And sometimes maybe even darker than 8, you could right. So it will fill the shadows but give a little more light. And that is this Deja Octobox that I wanted to show you. And if I go into render view, you'll see that you could be able to, if my computer will allow me, yes. Let me just turn off the other one for now. All right. Just like in those photos that I showed you, you could change the fall off. And this is from the center. So it's a little, where is it? Oh, I'm the wrong one I'm clicking. Yeah. The fall off. Yeah, see that? It gets brighter around the edges. And then the more I dial it down, it's brighter towards the center. So sometimes I leave it at 0.25 or 0.5, right? Depending on what I'm going for. All right, so let's go to 0.25. And you get that really, really nice soft light. The other feature is the spherical hotspot. Sometimes you really just want that hotspot, and that's another look. I mean, look at the light that creates. In this instance, it may not fit, but you could only imagine. I'm sorry I didn't include another example of that. And you could adjust this as well here too. You can adjust the scale of it and also translate it on the X or Y axis as you see fit. All right. And then this is similar, the corner scrim. It's just basically in the corner, and sometimes you may want that. It's very situation dependent. And this is, of course, just adjust the spread of it. The temperature, let me turn back the octobox so that you could see that better. 7,000 a little cool. If you put out like 4,000, right? It's just I'm using the black body node to do that. In the new Blender 4.5, I don't think we need to do that anymore because they introduced it on the outside here. So we could be able to enable this and change the temperature of the light, which is really nice. I think it's like it is even more accurate. So I will actually suggest that you use this new feature in Blender as opposed to the one on my Studio Light Premium Edition. All right, and this last slider is simply the power. But similarly, there's the, where is it? I believe it's the exposure. That's it, the exposure. Yeah, where you could be able to adjust it from there. So I will suggest that you use that instead of these two. So I may resign these two options here, but this is what I wanted to show you and really show you the power of this one, the Ultimate Studio Lights Premium Edition. All right, so feel free to check it out in the description on my Gumroad, the Ultimate Studio Lights Premium Edition. Also, there's a link to get access to professional training on lighting products in Blender. So I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.